What is up, people, and welcome to Johnny's Top 10 Generation 6 Pokemon. Number 10. Honge, a Steel-type Pokemon and a Ghost-type Pokemon. Its Pokédex entry states, apparently this Pokemon is born when a departed spirit inhabits a sword. It attaches itself to people and drinks their life force. In the Y entry, if anyone dares to grab its hilt, it wraps a blue cloth around that person's arm and drains that person's life energy completely. What can you not like about this Pokemon? It is a sword and it looks extremely awesome. It also has an evolution that is a double blade, so what more could you want? Number 9. Pancham, a fighting type of Pokemon that resembles a panda. Its Pokédex entry states it does its best to be taken seriously by its enemy, but its glare is not sufficiently intimidating. Chewing on a leaf is its trademark. And for Y, it says it does its level best to glare and pull a scary face, but it can't help greeting anyone that pats its head. Now Pancham does have its own evolution, Pangoro, but Pancham, I believe, is the first Pokemon that resembles a panda, and it looks really awesome. And it's also a really strong Pokemon to use in X as you use it as your beginning Pokemon. Number 8. Greninja is a water type Pokemon and a dark type Pokemon. Its Pokédex entry states it creates throwing stars out of compressed water. When it spins them and throws them at a high speed, these stars can split metal into two. Its Y entry states it appears and vanishes with a ninja's grace. It toys with its enemies using swift movements while slicing them with throwing stars of sharpest water. Now it does have two previous evolutions, and those are Froakie and Frogadier, and I believe that it's also inspired by a frog Pokemon. It is also one of the strongest Pokemon I have played with in the game. Number 7. Sylveon is a fairy type Pokemon. Its Pokédex states it sends a soothing aurora from its ribbon-like feelers to calm fights. Its Y-Dex states it wraps its ribbon-like feelers around the arm of its beloved trainer and walks with him or her. It is the previous evolution forms of Eevee, and I must say it is a pretty nice new evolution of an Eevee form, because it reminds me of the old Pokemons of the first generation, such as Eevee. So it's an awesome type of Pokemon to have in your team. Number 6. Tyrunt is a rock and dragon type Pokemon. In the Pokédex it states thanks to its gargantuan jaws, which could shred thick metal plates as if they were paper, it was invisible in the ancient world it once inhabited. In the Y it states nothing could stop this Pokemon 100 million years ago, so it behaved like a king. So that's pretty interesting, and it also has its own pre-evolution Pokemon called Tyrunt, which is one of the Pokemons that you get as a fossil in the game, where it gives you the option to choose. And I must say it's a pretty interesting and badass looking Pokemon. Number 5. Rorose is a rock and ice type Pokemon. The Pokédex states that the diamond-shaped crystals on its body expel air as cold as -240 degrees Fahrenheit, surrounding its enemies and encasing them in ice. Its Y Pokédex states using its diamond-shaped crystals it can instantly create a wall of ice to block an opponent's attack. It also has a pre-evolution Pokemon named Amaro, and you get this Pokemon in the game by getting the fossil, which is an awesome looking Pokemon. Number 4. Denna is an electric and fairy type Pokemon. Its Pokédex entry state its whiskers serve as antennas. By sending and receiving electrical waves, it can communicate with others over vast distances. In Y it says it uses its tail to absorb electricity from power plants or from outlets in houses, and then it fires the electricity from its whiskers. Now this is a really cute Pokemon. It always reminds me of Pikachu, and unfortunately it does not have an evolution. Number 3. Eva Tell is a dark and flying Pokemon. Its Pokédex entry states, when this legendary Pokemon wings and tail feathers spread wide and glow red, it absorbs the life force of all living creatures. And why it states, when its life comes to an end, it absorbs the life energy of every living thing and turns it into a cocoon once more. So it's pretty interesting what the Pokédex states about this Pokemon, and it is my favorite because of the design. It's really an amazing design for a legendary, and it's an awesome looking Pokemon. Number 2. Xerneas is a fairy type Pokemon. Its Pokédex entry states, legend says it can share eternal life. It slept for 1,000 years in the form of a tree before its revival. And why it states, when the horns on its head shine in 7 different colors, it is said to be sharing an everlasting life. And this is one of my most favorite Pokemons, and this is why it's top 2 and it deserves top 2. I honestly like the design of it. It just looks amazing. And that's the main reason I chose Pokemon X over Y, because of the cover of this Pokemon, because it looks so amazing and shiny. And it is a legendary, and its counterpart is Eva Tell, and they're both awesome designed Pokemon. This is why it deserves 2. And for the final number 1 top Pokemon is Delphox. Delphox is a fire and psychic type Pokemon. Its Pokédex entry states, it gazes into the flame at the tip of its branch to achieve a focused state, which allows it to see into the future. Pretty interesting. And for its Y Pokédex states, using psychic power, it generates a fiery vortex of 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit, incinerating foes swept into the whirl of flame. This is the top number 1 Pokemon in my opinion for the Generation 6. It is actually one of the best Pokemons that I felt is designed. It's just an awesome design. It's not a legendary, it's a starter, and it has its own pre-evolutions such as Fennekin and the other second evolution, and it's just an amazing, gorgeous Pokemon, and I believe this one deserves top 1 due to its amazing design. And it's one of the best ones to choose because when you're battling them, it learns psychic moves and it learns fire types, and it is extremely a strong Pokemon to use, and that has to be number 1 Pokemon. Thanks for watching my top 10 Pokemon. I hope you enjoy this video and have a nice day.